Hey, what is up, YouTube? What is up, Christianology fam? So we got black Christians versus black atheists. As a black person, people always assume that I am Christian. All right, let's get to the video.
Back to the conversation.
As a black person, people always assume that I'm Christian.
That's really funny.
It's like, oh, God bless you. Have a great day. And I'm like, oh, bless your heart. No, like, just keep your religion to yourself. It's just a lack of your own personal bubble, right? You're in your own space. You are thinking that everyone is thinking in accordance to the way that you are. So you need to start expanding your bubble by asking questions, engaging in conversation, and then allowing other people to come in and have a conversation with you as well.
So I live in the Bible Belt in Atlanta, Georgia, and I often get that
But you live in the Bible Belt, Atlanta, Georgia, out of all places. That's where you chose to live. Come on, bro. If you really, if you live in the freaking black belt of Christianity or Bible, or is the Bible Belt of Christianity, like you would not be living in Atlanta. Let's be honest. You probably be living in Nashville or something like that, Texas. You will not be living in Atlanta, bro. Do you know what happens in Atlanta? What happens in Atlanta stays in Atlanta.
I look familiar, that I have a familiar face, and especially from other black women. And almost the follow-up question is, have I seen you in church? Because that's where I spend all my time. And one of the number one questions in the South is, what church do you go to? Not even that you
Can you stop it? Most black people don't spend that time in church. Like, come on. Y'all go to church like 1 or 2 times of the week. Most of the time it's 1 time out of the week. Or maybe even once a month. Let's be honest. Most black people are not in the church. Maybe elder, like 50s, in the 40s, 50s, 60s. Maybe they'll spend maybe 3-4 days arranging the church, doing Friday night service or whatever it is that they do. Come on, most people don't even go to church. Let's be honest.
whether you're a believer or not, it is the default is, what church do you go to? And that is because, even according to research, the majority of the black community is Christian and religious, especially in areas of the South where Christianity is extremely prevalent, and that's all that is within their circle, like you said, the bubble. So it is assumed that everyone thinks the same.
Yeah, to add to that, my father is actually a pastor in Texas right now in the Bible Belt. And whenever I just converse with a black person, it's always God bless you. Oh, I'll pray for you. It's always it's always a religious undertone under our conversations. I just don't tell people I'm atheist right away, just so I can just keep the peace, because there's just a good 90% of us are religious, not even Christians, Muslims, or things like that. And when I say I'm an atheist or something like that, some people shun me. They'll just say, "Oh, I'll pray for you," or I feel bad for you, kind of vibe sometimes. And
So do you get that mostly in between black people, or other races say that to you as well?
it's majority
Mostly
black people.
Yes, mostly black.
Do you guys find it like an offensive stereotype, or is it more so just like,
Well, I think that it goes back to the last question, and it goes back to how the black church has shaped our culture, right? I believe that during the civil rights era, of course, you had almost every single civil rights leader being Christian. There's tons of gospel music in the hip hop.
Yeah.
Kanye, Chance the Rapper, you know what I'm saying? They're constantly sampling it. So I think that within black culture, you kind of cannot escape it.
I'll take this guy right here. I think the reason why I answered no to this question is not necessarily because of who I am, but where I'm at. Because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'll be outside a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be at a bar with some of my friends. Like this past year, I went to a pride parade. I've been to clubs to dance and hang out with some of my friends. And they don't really assume that I'm Christian because I'm in some of those environments. But even though I'm there, that doesn't mean that I'm less Christian or more Christian or more holier than thou. I'm just in the world. But
again, we talked about, and I mean,
Didn't the Bible tell you not to be in the world, boy? That boy went to a pride. You went to a pride parade, really? I think you went to that pride parade just to fit in. Let's be honest. Boy went to that pride parade just to fit in. Or maybe it might be. He might be Diddy on the low.
not to bring off what happened on camera, but when we introduced ourselves, you said amen.
I did.
That assumed that perhaps that we were going to be in agreement with that. I mean, even though there were Christians and atheists in the room, even whether it is explicitly Christianity or some form of belief in itself, it is more often than not assumed that as Black folks that we all share some form of belief in some sort of deity.
Can I say something?
So, sure.
What was your name again?
Mandisa.
Mandisa. Beautiful name, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna say this, like, that has less to do about my assumptions about you and just more about the way that I personally talk. So like, even if I'm like around like an atheist or whatever, like, it's not really a personal thing or an assumption for me to be like, amen, because that's just how I talk. You know what I'm saying? If I have a Muslim friend who's around me and they wanna say, mashallah, I don't think that they're trying to offend me just because they have a different religious belief than me.
And I say amen a whole lot, so I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah.
But it isn't a thing to say like God bless you. Amen simply means I agree, or we are in agreement, right? It doesn't necessarily mean God, this, that, the other. So to me, it's like if I agree with something, it's like, yeah, amen, whatever. But it's not to offend, to say, oh, we're all Christians and this, that, the other. That's just the way I speak.
But should that now prompt you to think about why it is that we do what we do? Why not, though? I mean, if you're in community with other people and they may not share the same practices or they may not share the same customs as you do, is it possible to perhaps think that that might not be the most appropriate thing to say at the time?
No, because we live in a culture that is very much about relativism and your relative truth and being who you are and standing in that. And what you're asking me to do is not stand on who I am. It's not about personifying what someone says that's just a greeting or passing or a statement of agreement. It's not wrapped in that. And if everyone else in this culture gets to stand in their relative truth, be who they want to be, say who you are, then I should be able to do that too without thinking that I'm offending someone.
But we're really not. As Americans, yes, we're Black Americans, but they don't really want any of us to have individuality. Ultimately, it's like, get up, go to work, do your labor, come home, don't question anything.
2024, why would you be living in that reality though of oppression? It's 2024.
Because so many people are still oppressed.
And that's a mindset thing, right? Because
No, it's not.
I wouldn't say that any of us, with our strong personalities, each one of us on this stage, live in a mindset of, I feel so oppressed today because I'm Black. What I'm going to do? I'm Black today. We get up and we're going to do what we have to do. We're going to go for what we want, regardless of our spiritual beliefs. I don't think that that's an argument to stand on.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but are you saying that's like a victim mentality?
I do.
Yeah.
Do you involve yourself in the Black Power movement?
What do you mean by that, though?
Do you involve yourself in the Black Power movement?
What does that mean? Because
Bro, what in the gay stuff is that, bro? That goofy said Black Power movement. Are you stupid, my boy? Are you stupid, my boy? What that even mean, man? Black Power movement. Are you stupid? So you think I wake up and think, oh, let me go join the Black Power movement? Yes, let's go join the Black Power movement because I'm freaking Black. When I wake up, I pray and I go to work or do whatever I had to do. If I'm off, I'm doing something else. I'm not thinking about freaking Black Power empowerment, bro. I'm not thinking about that. I think about God when I wake up and I'll go do whatever I have to do in the day. It's mostly work. I'm not thinking about, oh, after work, let me go freaking join the Black Power movement and talk about nonsense. No, I'm going to the gym after work. Going to work out, exercise.
there are
Essentially,
issues.
do you prioritize Black politics and the Black community?
I prioritize politics that I believe in.
Okay, so that's why you feel
there-
that way. That's why
Not
you feel
really,
like it's a
because
victim
there are
mindset.
Black politicians that I agree with in
no.
anything. You cannot diminish what I'm saying on that.
No. I'm not diminishing what you're saying, right? But you said something objectively, right? You said that is a victim mindset, and it's not. And if you educate yourself on the Black Power movement and what is going on with Africans globally, you wouldn't have that mindset. Right? I think that I actually wanted to bring the conversation to a little bit of a personal experience. I remember a time when I was in 8th grade, I was speaking to my social studies teacher. His name was Mr. Fada. And I told him I was Christian. And he was like, oh, that's cool. What kind of Christian are you? And I was like, Baptist? I got baptized. Am I a Baptist? And he was like, you know what, Tyler? You're probably one of the loud ones, right? And then I was like, what do you mean? We are loud. No, I know. I accepted that immediately. And that was kind of one of my first interactions with microaggressions, right? And religious microaggressions, right? And I think that the parallels between how toxic it can get when you come across other Christians, even in the Black community, is the same way, right? I feel like I can tell a beautiful black person who just became my friend that I missed the bus or my phone is off, and they're like, the devil's after you, pray. And it's like, bro, no. No, I missed my paycheck.
How do you?
It's like, what are we talking about here? And a lot of family members hit me up and they're like, yo, Tyler, I need your help. The devil's after me. And after we breathe and we calm down, it's like if we put these problems on paper, it has nothing to do with spirituality at all. It has to do a lot with preparation, right? Mindfulness, right? And just financial planning.
So I want to go back to something real quick. And that's, again, it's these narratives, right? Where you ask me, do you believe in the Black empowerment movement? It's such a broad thing because you still have not told me anything specific, even though that was beautiful what you shared. You are painting every Black person as a monolith.
No, I'm not.
Yes, when you ask those questions, because I, as a Black person, I'm expected to vote a certain way. Because I'm a woman, I'm expected to believe a certain thing. And it gives no room, and it denigrates each of us as an individual and what we think. And I think that's where the problem is. It's like, I can care about Black issues, but we may not care about the same exact things or see things differently, but it doesn't make me any less Black than you.
What was your name?
Roxy.
Roxy, let me ask you a question, Roxy, right? Because you articulate yourself very well, and I'm not here to make you qualify your Blackness or to question your Blackness. That's not what I'm here at all, right? So, when do you think that the concept of Blackness first came into the minds of African people?
I'm not here for that kind of discussion because that's not my expertise.
Perfect.
Hold on.
Perfect.
Do you want to answer? You don't want to answer?
You don't want to answer.
I don't want to answer.
And that's also another problem I have with Christians when it comes to free thinking. It's like a lot of ducking and dodging. But let me answer that from my perspective, right?
Please.
So the first time that this concept of unity through Blackness, I believe, proliferated through Africans' minds was when diverse Africans from West Africa were shackled together on slave ships and they couldn't speak to each other. Right? They could not speak to each other, right? But there were things that they noticed, right? And what they noticed is our hair is a certain way and our skin color is a certain way, right? The people who are doing this to us, their skin color is a different way. So when they couldn't speak and they had no cultural relevance was when Blackness became important and was when Black people needed to put Blackness above everything else. I personally believe that Black people all around the world, when it comes to intersectionality, I believe that they need to put race before anything else. You predate Jesus. You predate Muhammad.
Bro, Goofy, I'm not putting Blackness in front of God, you idiot. God is centered first, and then whatever else I want to believe in, that comes second. I'm not putting Blackness in. And that Goofy said that Blackness existed before Jesus Christ. Yes, Goofy. Jesus Christ came in the New Testament. Those are the people living in the Mosaic law, Moses time. Right? So please, let's talk about that, okay? And at that time too, it was just God. It was just God. God, I don't even say, Satan existed at that time. So it was God or Satan. That's it. And Jesus Christ is like the middle ground. That's all it is.
You predate, as an African woman, every biblical figure that walked this earth. Right? So what's more of a divine command? You being Black or you being Christian? And here's where I get upset, right? Because we talk about how, I don't want to be a part of this Black culture movement, this, that, and the third, and all these different things. And I want to explore my own experience as a Black person and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then you go to church, Black churches, and then there's white Jesus all over the wall. Right? And then you talk to Black people and be like, what color is God? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what color God is, right? But it does matter if you are a woman or a man of the cloth. How does that not matter to your book?
Because
in the Bible,
let
me ask you something. In the Bible, let me finish this off with this, right? Okay. In the Bible, is Jesus, is his appearance in the Bible?
I believe they described him with like
feet were bronze and hair was,
His feet was black as brass and his hair was that of wool. James Harden? James Harden? LeBron? What? James Harden is in the Bible?
The Black church is better than the white church.
Bro, comparing James Harden to freaking Jesus Christ is insane, my boy. You need to get slapped for that, little boy. You freaking obese little boy. Put that food down. Put that grease down. It's clogging up your freaking brain. You goofy. Hey, yeah. Subscribe and like and comment, man. We gonna get to the next one. Love y'all. Peace. Jesus Christ is King.